What's up everybody? I'm going to go over the 3 most common mistakes people make while throwing their jabs and their crosses. Okay, so a quick review of how to throw a jab and a cross. You're going to have your hands in guard, chin tucked, elbows in to protect the body, and you're going to be rotating with your 1 and 2. The 1 and 2 is the jab cross. Now notice when I throw, my opposite hand does not fall. Okay, we call this the bow and arrow effect, where it looks like you're shooting a bow and arrow. You want your hands still in guard because this side, whatever side you're punching, that side is too open. So you want to keep the opposite side as close as possible, keep it in guard, shoulder up, so it's at least protecting your chin. Your body's exposed, so you do have to bring it back as soon as possible. Which leads us to the common mistakes that we make when we throw our punches, okay? First mistake that we make is dropping our guard, okay? So you want to keep our hands up, throw those punches, and make sure that the hands are coming back to guard, that they're not just dropping or your hands aren't down here when you're fighting, otherwise your face is too exposed, okay? So you want to keep a good even balance of forearms and elbows protecting the body, and your chin going down into your guard. So now your chin is protected, and then the gloves, boxing gloves, should be protecting the temples. Okay? So we want to not throw our hands down, or we want to not drop our hands. We want to punch from guard. Okay? Which takes us to mistake number 2. Something called cycling. Okay, so I see this a lot in beginners, and even people who are used to hitting the bag, they do this once they start sparring, okay? Is when you throw a punch, and instead of coming from A to B back to A, it makes a detour. It comes back around. So we call this cycling, okay? It takes too much time for your hands to come back to guard. Remember, you want to stay in guard to stay protected. Right here, that's what they do, that's a cycle. Okay, we want A to B, back to A. Okay, back to guard. Okay, that's the second mistake. The third most common mistake people make is something called crossing paths. Okay, that's when you throw a punch, like you throw your jab, and you're gonna throw your 1-2 combo. You throw your cross, your 2, before the jab even comes back to your guard. Again, very important to stay in guard because that's what keeps you protected. Okay, you always want your hands up, chin down, elbows in. Sometimes they could come out, but you want to get used to keeping them in because that's what protects your body. Okay, we never block a body shot with the hands swatting down. Okay, it's always with our forearms and our elbows. Okay, that being said, we always want our hands back to guard before we throw our next punch. Okay. This is what we don't want. This is what I'm talking about. That's crossing paths. Boom, see? Hands are seeing each other. I want it back to guard before I throw my second punch. Now, people do that because they want to punch really fast, but speed will come as long as you get the technique right, okay? You can fix power and speed as you practice, but if you fall into bad habits, that's gonna be harder to fix later on. Okay, so with that being said, I'm going to go over ways to fix these 3 common mistakes with these straight punches. So usually when I'm in the gym with my clients, I use a resistance band, and I have them put it around their back, and then they shadow box with that on. And it's going to help with those 3 common mistakes. I'm at home right now, we're all quarantined on lockdown. I looked in my garage and I found this. Okay, so if you know what this is, it's a workout band, okay? So I bought this about 17 years ago and I found it in my garage and I'm like, hey, now I could use it. What you want to do is, if you don't have a resistance band, find something with resistance like this. I'm going to tie it together here. I'm going to wrap it around my back. As I wrap it around my back, notice I put my elbows in between the band, and from there, I don't want it to go over my shoulder, I want it to stay in my back and get my guard. So what this is doing is, if I drop my guard, I can feel it because it relaxes the tension. I want the tension, okay? As I have the tension, it makes me flex my shoulder muscles, so I have to keep my hands up. And when I punch, there's resistance in those punches too. Okay, so that's what it's going to do for the first one. The second one it's going to help with is, again, the second mistake, which is cycling. Okay, this won't let me cycle because of the resistance. So when I punch, when I throw my jab, it automatically makes me come back to my guard. When I throw my cross, it makes me come back to my guard. And which brings us to our last common mistake, crossing paths, okay? Because of the resistance, I can't throw both punches at once, okay? So I have to wait for this punch to come back to throw my second punch. So my 1-2, okay? So those are the three ways that a resistance band or some band like this will help you with the mistakes that you make while you're throwing your straight punches. Okay, I hope this video helped. Let me know if you have any questions.